Alright, people of New York State, this is where the counties of New York stand on gun legislation right now. You'll see the green there, those are counties in opposition that have passed resolutions to show that they're in opposition of the SAFE Act. And those three little blue states have proposed to be against the SAFE Act, but it hasn't passed yet in those three counties. So this is the way that New York State feels about the SAFE Act. So, but you got to remember, we're not in a democracy here. We're in a constitutional republic. So at the end of the day, it's up to lawmakers and the people who you put in office. That doesn't mean, however, that you can't do something about it. First thing you can do is we will not comply. Don't comply with the new act. Don't register your guns. Put 10 rounds in your magazine. Call the sheriff's department and tell them the way you feel about this. Blow up their phone. Make this an issue, okay? They're trying to brush this under the carpet. This is serious business. If one state is allowed to have unconstitutional laws and take people's rights away, then every other state will be able to do it. The buck needs to stop here in New York State. Write your legislators, lawmakers, sheriff's department, write letters, call them up, bother them. You know, make sure that they know where you stand on the issue, that we're opposed to this. Spread the word about these protests that I'm going to tell you about on Facebook, Twitter. Word of mouth, talk about it at work. Make this a conversation. Talk to your friends and family members. Let people know that this is an issue, because the media just tells you a little bit about it and then they just forget about it. And we're all left to suffer the consequences. Don't listen to lies and propaganda in the media, like this so-called 90% statistic. 90% of Americans support universal background check. What they don't know is, besides the fact that that's not a true statistic at all, is the fact that universal background check means that if you're at the shooting range with your buddy, or you're shooting and plinking in your yard, the moment you hand your gun to somebody without giving them a background check, you have just caused a felony. You can go to prison for 5 years for handing a gun to somebody who can't own a gun. So somebody who may have lied to you and said, no, I don't have any felonies, and you hand them a gun, well, now you're going to be in prison for 5 years. Do you realize what this is going to do to our prison system if we allow this to happen? Vote conservative, boycott Democrats. What have we seen with Barack Obama? We've seen that he didn't run his campaign on taking guns. He assured you that he wouldn't take his guns, and yet look what he does. He's attempting to take everyone's guns. Andrew Cuomo, same thing. Didn't say anything about taking guns, but then once you elect him into office, he's got this whole new agenda that he didn't run on. So vote conservative. Be careful of Republicans too. There's plenty of Republicans that support stripping human beings of their weapons and their rights. You have to look at where they voted on the issues in the past. Look at who's in Congress right now. The House of Representatives. How are they voting on this new gun legislation? That should be your deciding factor of whether or not you re-elect them into office. Don't enforce unconstitutional laws. This is my call for sheriffs and troopers and anybody who's responsible for enforcing law. You don't have to enforce these laws, okay? At the end of the day, you are a person dealing with people. And if you just decide not to enforce these laws, then good law-abiding New Yorkers won't end up in prison for something silly, like putting too many bullets in their magazine. I don't know, but I'm going to put in the description a link to all of these events. So just remember, guys, that you can do something. You don't have to sit down and take this bullshit anymore, okay? Every single person has a voice. There's almost 400 million Americans in the United States. We got screwed over by one guy. One guy, Andrew Cuomo, passed a bill at 2 o'clock in the morning while you were asleep in bed. He bypassed the constitutional requirement for a 3-day negotiation period on the bill. The legislators that voted on the bill didn't even read it. Okay? Don't re-vote these people into office. Every last one of these fuckers will be held accountable for this shit. And I'm serious and I'm pissed off. And you should be too. Thank you.